And welcome in to Evils of Enferacuse. I am your evil DM, Concleod, fresh off of a visit to Origins Game Fair. We are here to enjoy, well, actually, we're here to hope we don't all die. One of those things. We're going to have a lot of fun, though, tonight. It's been a while. First off, before we get started, congratulations are in order because the Grey Jedi, we say congratulations to Grey Jedi who got married in the last month. So congratulations, Grey Jedi. We're excited for you. Woo!
Woo!
Woo! Good congratulations. Yes. And for everyone else, we do have 4 players, though if you're looking like it's a little strange, Doric Grand is here. Doric, can you say hello?
Hello.
We're just working out. We're going to have some of the details taken care of. And we will have, hopefully, by the end of the next month or so, we will have characters in everybody's corner in case folks are not here. And Spastic Squirrel is not with us tonight as well. So, we're going to get started as in last time. During our last visit to the city of Enferacuse, we ran into a series of problems. There were problems with our horned rabbit friends out in the wilderness being decimated by a rogue mage of sorts, but the party had no trouble eventually taking them down. From there, though, Barari felt pain in his head beyond comprehending that seemed to spike directly to affect his patron and what's going on, blocking that path, blocking that connection. From there, we found ourselves back in the city of Enferacuse with a bit of a stowaway, but also coming upon a space of revelry and folks who have recently started joining this guild and going out and doing their own adventures out in the city and around the area. With that in mind, though, Grim found himself, after dropping off their broken new robot friend, their Warforged, that Grim found that there is a bit of doctrine in his church that is against those types of created creatures, and that there is something going on deeper into the lore of the church. And lastly, Zari came back to the room to find that he had a note from his previous employers that they needed to have a meeting. And that is where we left off last time in Enferacuse. And so, as of today, and this is going to be a roll at disadvantage, and it's solid. It is raining today. So it is the morning the next day. Actually, we're gonna take a day break. Everybody decided after they got back after fighting that wizard that everybody needed a bit of a day to kind of get their bearings together, refill supplies. You guys can take that as a space to fill your food. You have stocked yourselves up and kind of have yourself a day of rest to kind of get yourselves back in order just around the Rock Bottom Tavern to get yourselves set up. But the following day, it is pouring outside. You can hear the click-clack-clatter up against the windows as that water's coming down. And with that, we go to the first space, which is very simple. Doric, give me a perception check.
1 perception check. Click. Do-do-do. Where is it?
It is in the perception box. I couldn't help myself. I'm really sorry.
No, that's perfectly fine. My ADHD eyes were just glazing over it every time. All right. 9.
Okay. Uh, Doric,
Mm.
you feel a slight lump at your feet as you're waking this morning.
Well, that's unusual. I kind of toss.
Ah!
Oh,
Oh, great to see you awake. I have been waiting so long. You seemed to avoid me yesterday so much. As you find that
I forgot.
Yargle is at your feet at this point in your room.
No.
I didn't even gather my thoughts. How did you get in here?
Oh, you have a hole over there. And he
Yeah,
points over to a corner.
knew that was coming.
There is a hole in the corner of your room that leads not into the hallway, but into another room.
How many rooms did you tunnel through to get here? Did you get lost? Please tell me, God, you didn't get lost.
No, I only I might have walked in following someone talking to them. It seems like they didn't want to talk very much, but I wanted to make sure I finished the conversation. So, when you have the ability to speak, you should just keep practicing at it. That's what they always say if people would talk to me.
Right. So what did you want to talk about?
You said that you were going to try to find those the guardians to maybe bring me back. It's okay if you don't. I just wanted to make sure that if you did, to send a message back to them that I've found this delicious liquid that we can't get in the forest. Now, I don't remember what happened after I found it, but I want to make sure that they all know that it exists.
What liquid?
I don't know. The large green gigantic person handed it to me. I think it was after I was talking sitting there at the bar for a while.
Oh, big man, why?
Oh, it was very enjoyable, and then I don't really know much after that, but that's fine. New experiences. This is exactly why I came here.
You're paying for that hole in the wall, by the way.
Okay. What's paying?
So, what I'm gonna need you to do to make sure that this hole in the wall gets fixed, I'm gonna need you to go outside, run around, and find me the shiniest of things,
Huh?
and then bring them back.
Oh, like the things we. Oh, perfect. We're good at that. That's how I can talk. Okay. Great idea. I'll be back. And Yargle's gonna go out of the room.
Oh God.
Here we go.
I didn't even need to give you a persuasion on that one. That is Yargle. He is going out the hole. He is not making it towards your door. So, as you hear him go through, you hear a bunk and in the next door room.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. And then off they go. Your room is now empty.
Can I tell about what time it is?
Absolutely. You can look at the window.
All right, take a look at the window. Is the sun up?
No, it is pouring out. You can tell that it's lighter, so there's sun somewhere in a cloud above, but it is a dark kind of day.
All right. It's too early to think about the consequences of my actions that I just took. I'm just gonna go get breakfast.
And awesome. You get yourself set up to do that. We are going to go then to Grim. And Grim, I'm going to do some talking here for you. So, Grim, after you have determined that the folks at your church are a little bit more negative in terms of their feeling towards your Warforged new person you have met, you kind of have not really figured out where you want to go with that information because of what it could mean for your compatriots. The one thing I will say is for going downstairs is deciding whether or not you want to tell them, and we can kind of work it out from there. You get an otherwise very nice night's sleep. Okay? You're all muted in case you're talking, but I just want to make sure I know that. From there, we'll go to Zari. Zari, you have been dealing with the things on your mind with that note. I'm not going to say that you got a reasonable night's sleep. I'm going to say that you kind of have been thinking a lot about what this exactly could mean. For our sake, could you give us just a slight description of your previous employer?
Well, we parted on ill terms. There was a lot of blood. Um, they would be someone who always, inexplicably, ends up falling upwards.
That is a wonderful explanation. Thank you. So, falling upwards, you do feel like whatever state that you left them in, which was not a good one, though alive, that there must be something for them to want to come back to you. Either they're not afraid of, based on what had happened, or they didn't retaliate in any way, shape, or form at this point. So it's odd to get this as a note versus like a knife or something like that. So a lot of really weird vibe off of that. Leaving your room, are you going to go out with anything particular in mind?
Um, what was? I mean, I carry basically everything. Um, I kind of want to spend a little time kind of looking over the note that was left on my desk because, as far as I'm aware, it didn't say where and it didn't say when exactly. So I just kind of want to look it over one more time to make sure I didn't miss any details. Now that I'm a little bit on a cooler head. Um, and then I can probably figure out, even if there isn't any information, I can probably figure out where to go find where they are. But it is definitely strange. There shouldn't be any particular reason they are searching me out. Um,
You give
so
me
I
give me an investigation then if you're going to take a look at that note.
absolutely click 16.
16. So the 16, you can tell that one thing that is very simple is this wasn't like a fresh parchment or anything like that. You can easily tell that this looks like this was scrolled on a page ripped out of a book.
Can I tell what book? Is there
Well, if you
anything else?
at a 16, absolutely, you can if you turn it over because there's only like three words on the one side that you see your note on, but turning it over, you find yourself, and I'm going to roll for this, and we're going to see where we land on this. You see a page that describes the standard forest elm tree in increasingly inane detail.
A forest what?
The forest elm, a tree of
Oh,
great size, straight, and known very much for its straightness.
does it go with the book that we took from the druid student? Or not the druid student, but the elven student?
So, you have a couple of options here. If you'd like to examine the book, you can attempt to examine the book.
Oh,
Uh,
wait, no. Uh,
Do it.
Actually, do they have the book or do I have the book? Because wasn't it me that opened the thing to have the tree explode in the place?
I believe you opened it and handed it back to Zari. Zari, tell me if I'm
Okay,
on that.
fair enough. Fair enough.
uh, I think that's right. Or at the very least, I don't have it marked in my inventory anymore. So,
One of you still has the book. We're going to assume that if you would like to examine it, that you would be able to.
well, I think that should be done outside.
Very fair.
And I don't even remember how we got it out last time or closed. I'll, I'll, I'll I guess hold on to that thought for later. All right. Something about elms. A straight elm somewhere. Alrighty. I guess I'll kind of shake it off and take the note, put it into my inventory, and then go downstairs. Kind of maybe get my mind off of things for a little bit while I can.
Okay, you can absolutely do that and start to grab a bite to eat at the bar. You see that Dorek has made the way down there and is currently just appears like spooning through. You found some soup that was already down there ready to go. So you had kind of taken a ladle out for yourself there.
Oh, that sounds good. Okay.
And they'll take that back up to Ferrari. Ferrari, you're upstairs. You're still kind of feeling a little bit of the effect of that kind of severing that took place for a bit, and then kind of just like slammed you after you touched that surface of that rune. You're still kind of feels like a lot. Not so much in your body anymore, but up here in the head. Especially now that you know you kind of can do more communication that you didn't anticipate.
Yeah. Getting a little case of the Wiggins, with the what the hell happened, why did it spark a break in our communication, that's got to be looked at. So yeah, been kind of writing notes on and off, both before I went to bed and immediately after I got up. It's like, yeah, I should go get breakfast, but I need to figure this out. I got to take more notes.
Okay. So you can choose to gather some notes for yourself upstairs. You can hear that the rain is blasting outside as well. So it's not optimal flight weather for yourself as well to note.
Yeah.
So,
and as much as the storm can be white noise, this is not as great white noise after having the pounding in my head from whatever the frick that rune did. So yeah, I'll slowly close up my book, pocket it in my satchel, kind of look around to make sure I didn't leave anything behind, and then proceed to make my way downstairs to see if everybody else is up.
Okay, you make your way downstairs, and again, you see the scene before you. You also will see Grimm has made their way down to get themselves set up too. So that kind of gets them into a really good place to be able to kind of grab some food, see that there is a couple other folks inside the rock bottom wandering in. There are more folks wandering in than before. Some of the folks you recognize as folks who are taking off some of the jobs from the board too. So that's kind of where the scene is looking like right now. You know it's raining outside, and so there's kind of a couple options at this point. You could do a few different things. You could go in any direction towards the board. You could go towards your metal friend. You kind of all have some individual things that are kind of resting on stuff as well. So there's some options for you today.
I want to look at the Discord real quick, see where the recent picture of the board is. Unless, where is the board? Is it? No.
I can't remember the last time we had the board up. I know it's up there somewhere, but
yeah, I'm looking and maybe I'm looking in the wrong section. Oh, there we go. I found it. Okay. Somebody's looking for hot peppers. Is this the right? That's January. That's not the right one.
There is, again, an older board on there. Let me see if I can make sure I know that the new one is the one that's up there. I'm pulling it up in the computer right now to make sure. And for anybody who is on the stream, in case you would like to, you can find the boards for Evils of Enferacuse in our Discord. We post a lot of things. So the couple things you have pulled from the board, if we're in the general chat, is you have the Cabanal release, the wine. That is still something that's active. That was from January. You pulled it at the same time you pulled the wanted poster. You have the missing signs that are there that you've also pulled off that board.
Okay. I don't remember the Goblin Reform School one. That one caught my attention when I'm looking. I was like, the hell?
That one is still there.
Yeah, that's one I don't remember being on there to begin with. That one threw me off. I'm like, I don't recognize. Okay, so yeah, we got the missing ones and the barrel. We haven't taken care of the barrel yet, and we don't know who or what these missing individuals or wanted dead or alive individual is. I believe. Think we have a little detail on the wanted person.
The missing and the wanted dead or alive. You
That's the same person, isn't it?
that is that same person that currently his dead body is out there in there. Remember the wanted dead or alive you did find was brought out by a shielding. So the wanted poster is from a shielding.
All right.
Okay. But then there's the missing one that looks like an owl or owl bear, and one that also looks like a draconic face.
Yes. And the other one, you do still have a missing poster that has the Groku's face on it.
We gotta turn that in.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
We want to do that today.
Yeah, we should probably get that squared away.
Yeah, and then we can kind of take some new things and look into stuff.
Very good. If you guys want to head out that way, it will take you. The actual missing poster itself is going to have a address that is in the upper spaces of Enferacuse, in the high rent district per se of Enferacuse. If you take a look at the Enferacuse map, which again created by the Grey Jedi, which is really awesome, you might have to scroll up a bit more for that one, as I do right now too. It will show you that. Actually, that's in the game chat. Let me think that.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's in another channel.
Yeah, that's in the game chat. Pull that one up.
There it is.
In another castle.
You know, well, your address is if you're going to activate your fantasy wayfinder or Siri or whatnot, whatever you want to call her. It's in the upper right corner that kind of goes past the college, in the very nice area and high. Really, you can tell it is the rich area based on your guys' knowledge of Enferacuse.
Mm-hmm.
That is where the address will take you. The most familiar person who has spent any time up there is Grim, because the young master lives up that way.
Solid. Is the college the building that's just below and to the right of that?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So I've not been in that district yet.
I do not believe you have, Dork.
No.
It's one of those spaces you would not have found yourself in with what you were doing. So that's one thing to keep in mind.
All right.
Okay.
I guess we'll finish up eating, and unless somebody has any other ideas.
No, let's close up the things we're working on, and then we'll look for something new. Big man, snacks for the road.
Awesome.
Wait, what?
Hmm.
No, wait, what? Did
Are
Big
you
Man
looking
actually
at
just...
are you looking at him or not?
Yes.
Okay. You are looking at him. At that point, he hands you this really big sandwich.
It's beautiful.
We all clocked that.
He nods. He nods and turns around.
No, he said something. He said words.
Yeah. I'm looking up at you, and then I look over, and I'm just like,
I think we've gotten closer in our relationship.
and then I'm just like, oh, do I test the waters?
Did you say that out loud or no? Or are you just thinking that?
Or are you thinking
Oh
at
no,
somebody?
like I'm like saying it softly, like just for present company at at the bar to hear, because he's turned his back to us. I'm not saying it so that he could hear.
Oh, I want to say no. Let him open up at his own pace. This is a good thing.
So none of the Hedwiggins.
Hedwiggins?
I look up at you and without moving my beak, I talk into your head and I say, "This Hedwiggins."
No.
Don't want to scare him.
He'll open up on his own. We've gotten words. A
Was
word.
it? Yeah, I was gonna say words is multiple. We've gotten one. Baby steps.
Yeah, take it slow. All right, big man, you have a great day. And kind of wave as we leave.
You get a snap and a wave.
There we go. See, baby steps.
And back to the. I want to be disrespectful, but I'm just gonna start calling him Maggie.
Wait, what? Nick Jr.
I was thinking more along the line of the Simpsons, but
You have stumbled upon a reference that you were unaware of, Rory.
yeah.
So you all decide to make your way out in the rain. Ferrari, this is a little bit slower going for you because you can't really go as quickly as you would like given the tumultuous downpour. I assume you all have a level of rain gear, and probably those with a bit of a easier vision in the dark are going to have a better time with this because it is a dark, dreary day out there. So you make your way out towards the upper town.
Calculated.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I did just type in chat. Wasn't there like a whole thing that I'm supposed to talk to everybody about the book from the statues from the sword and shield that they gave me? That I was supposed to talk to them in the morning.
Yes. Did you want to do that? I wasn't sure if you wanted to or not.
No,
I will do it.
That was supposed to be said. That was how we ended the last episode.
All right. We are going to, before you guys leave, you're going to get stopped by Grim, and Grim is going to explain to you, and he's going to show you a book that says that the Church of Silent Stone apparently has at one level of ancient orthodoxy that says that any unnaturally made creature is an affront to their patriarch, the man in Silent Stone.
So basically a shielding.
Or anyone like him.
So what? They don't like him because he's
because
not, I don't know. Dorg doesn't know the exact words for this, so I'm purposely pausing.
Because he is a quote affront and insult to their god, I suppose, which also took on the form of not biological being like us, not a flesh and blood, but something of like stone or metal or wood.
And does the god take offense to this, or the people take offense to this?
That's kind of a gray area, I would reckon, unless Grim has other input.
He'll just say yes.
It seemed like, based on Grimm's account, that at least there was some of the clerics that are a little bit more warrior based who were a bit perturbed about the presence of a shielding. But you don't. This is an old book. It's just one of many old books that Gray knows is there, and different people can write different things in the way that they interpret.
So they don't just hate a shield dig.
Not necessarily all of them.
All right. With that, Dora kind of relaxes his shoulders, like, all right.
Yeah, you get some more open-minded people in religion. Things kind of start to evolve, I think. But yeah, we're going to want to be careful going forward with how open we are with a shielding once he's back up on his feet.
Grim would share with you that this is also the knowledge he got because those the three spirits inside gave the knowledge. So it's not something that any initiate or anybody who is not at a certain level in their orthodoxy would know. So
Hmm.
that's another tidbit of that thought. All right. And with that, you still have the ability to change or just go walking out towards the high street.
I'll get my cloak.
All right. Everybody, what do you got, Zari? What would you like to do, Zari?
No, nothing. I'm good.
Okay. Very cool. You all make your way out again. Like you said, really heavy downpour, a little bit more difficult to traverse the city, but you can make your way out. And as you can see, with that lot of water, there's not a lot of people out. It is a lot of folks are keeping inside today. Not a lot of folks who are out and about. It seems like if people are out, they are out doing some transit, doing some work here and there, but folks are trying to keep undercover relatively where possible. As you make your way towards High Street, though, you do find that down across the way from it, in one of the lower sections, that there is a crowd standing around something tall.
Can I
You
see
can-
it from my height advantage?
Well, you can all see there's a crowd. It's easy passive. Kind of what you want to figure out from there is determining on if you want to stop or if you want to go. There is a different divergent path to either.
I know that they say not to slow down as you're passing by an accident on the highway. When there's a cart pulled over from a caravan, you don't stop unless you want to be either harried by bandits or because you're too curious for your own good. However, this is in town, and I am a knowledge seeker. What about you three?
Before you got halfway through your sentence, Dork was already walking.
Oh.
Ah, shit!
Uh,
We need to put a leash and or bell on him.
yeah, good
you'd-
luck with that.
You'd be better with the bell because who's gonna hold the leash?
Yeah. Yep.
Well, you see Doric wandering over directly to the crowd. You all make your way over there as well, at least at some level, I hope.
Yeah.
I want to do a quick perception of the people in
Go
the
ahead.
cart accident. Sled, the cart.
The crowd, because you all
Yes.
see a crowd.
Okay. Oh, that's an 8. There's people.
There seems to be a lot of murmuring, looking kind of up and down. You can see that kind of
Okay.
at like that kind of level with the crowd,
Okay.
like
Can I?
amaze feeling.
Oh,
Oh,
like
okay.
like they're like ooh and ah kind of shit.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay, I'm going to use my size advantage of being small boy and just start tucking between people's legs. You just see me kind of just start like my hood up, and I just go ooh, like straight for it because some people think that I'm a kid until they get a look at me or hear my voice. And if they just think it's a kid, and then I whip around and give them the owl stare, scare the fuck out of them.
Okay, you
So,
give me an intimidation, please.
I want.
I wasn't initially going to try and scare anybody, but okay, we're going for it, I
There's
suppose.
definitely going to be one person in particular who's up there.
Holy shit! That's a 19 on the die for a 23.
Awesome. Okay.
Uh,
This is perfect. You have a blonde who turns around at that time, and you give them the leering look. Oh my god! And that blonde woman faints in front of you onto the ground
Lash.
as you have scared them senseless. Now,
Oh, great.
I'm going to roll, and if you're higher, if it's higher than a 10, the guards haven't gotten there yet. And with a 6, you turn the head of a guard that is standing to your left. Hey, what are you doing watching that?
I looked up at her and she fainted. Has she never seen an Ellen before?
Well, it's not her fault.
I suppose not, but we need somebody to attend to her. I'm not a cleric. We need somebody with some sort of smelling salts or something.
Young feathered one, did you make this woman faint?
She looked at me, I looked at her. I don't know what caused her to faint other than because she was frightful of my appearance.
Do you have
That's-
this new guild that I keep hearing all these things that, you may have shown up the guards previously in a game of real true skill and honor? That's you, is it not?
May well be.
Good, because that is a quest. Have fun. That is your problem. Ladies and gentlemen, please part the path while they take care of this desperately in need woman.
You just got us voluntold to do something.
You did.
I
you
just,
did.
I stand there. I'm like, I don't see you going and putting a notice on our board for a job.
No, I'm just clearing the paths for you, just like any good guard would for someone taking on such heroic work. You can tell that you're definitely being made to look like one way if you decide not to do anything here. Your perception will give you that. So what you choose to do with this information is yours.
Is it not the duty of the town guard to tend to the public? But you're thrusting this.
Wait. I kind of come up behind him like, wait. This gives our guild a chance to look better than the town guard.
Oh no! I get it. The guards are being lazy, is what I'm saying.
Ooh, okay, that route.
You are
means.
trying to put a job on us when we already have a board in the tavern full of quests that you, the guards of Enferacuse, have not taken up at all. You are a bunch of union workers that do nothing.
All right.
You started out so strong.
Ferrari, I'd like a performance check.
Sure.
Yeah, give him that.
With my weak voice. Maybe
Yeah, I just hear the emperor. Yes, do it.
Do it.
Okay, performance is a +4. That is an 11 on the die and a 3 on the D4, so that's 14 plus the 4, so that's 18 total.
Yeah.
All right, you do now with the crowd around you. Yeah, take care of it. That's what we pay our taxes for. And so the crowd murmur around you will recognize and respect your play, booing the guard. Now, you get a scowl from the guard. The guard says,
that's cool.
I'm going to do one last thing before we before this flows out a little more. Ferrari, because you're the one who's doing this, give me a perception check.
Cool.
Your dice are hot tonight.
It might be.
17.
There you go.
Okay. You get this like glare from that guard who was doing the talking, right? You note that behind him, a row, because there's actually some crowds, but then there's 3 guards in a row behind that. The guard in the middle is someone that you have never seen before, but you can clearly tell they have the highest level of insignia that you have seen on a guard.
Oh, were they under inspection?
Move! As soon as you hear that, you see a bit of that crowd just kind of look back and then part. And you see the guard that we're talking to you slowly turn around. Sir, Do your job. With that, the guard who is speaking to you quickly moves to your side to pick up and scoop up the young woman who has fainted to the ground. Healers, now wait. Mrs. Donner, wake up. Oh, 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 it's fine. Mrs. Donner, you have been told to not cause a scene any further. Have we not made that clear? Well, there's just so much going on. So many things. This from appears out of nowhere, and he appears out of nowhere. Mrs. Donner, it's fine. We will take you back to your home. Take her back home, please. The guard who is glaring at you is also kind of glaring at her now and is slowly escorting her out from the crowd.
I kind of ball up my fist and hang it low. I'm like, give me some feather, bro.
I kind of I kind of look up and I'm like, not in front of the big guard. I want to be professional here. In the head-to-head conversation,
Mm.
I look up at the lead guard now.
I assume you're here for the tree.
We saw there was a gathering and wanted to have a look to see if there was any problems or any prospects of something new and exciting going on in town.
So you don't know. Huh. Good to know there's some things that the guards get ahead of all of you. Excuse me a moment.
We can't be everywhere all at once.
It's good that you're not. As he strides forward. Following his eye, and nobody's perception hit the major mark for this, you follow him right to the center. You see that in the center is this tremendously straight tree that is not necessarily on the side, but on the edge of the roadway. They are looking down, examining the ground.
Interesting.
This tree was not here recently. Does this Go ahead. My train of thought just kind of went off.
What would you like to do? Do you know they kind of went over to this tree that's kind of up on the edge in the bit of the roadway?
You said it's on the edge of the roadway, so it's not intervening or barring any path.
Bless you.
Thank you.
It is not barring a pathway. It's more so the crowd's barring a pathway, if anything else. So it's not like in the middle of a road, but it's not. It's in what you would assume is road, because it looks like there is traveled pathway between it.
Okay, basically like if it was on a regular street, it's just taking up the sidewalk and some of the street itself.
That's a good way to describe it.
Who planted this here?
If you say that out loud, you see a elven woman who just kind of looks over and says, "Wasn't there yesterday."
Well, that doesn't answer my question.
Well, I don't have the answer to that.
Then why'd you try to answer it with the wrong answer?
She walks away.
There you go. I mean, am I wrong?
I'm not going to say no, and I'm not going to say yes. I'm just going to be like, you make some interesting conversation points, and I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Huh.
Fool thinks we grow elm trees. She is murmuring under her breath along the way about growing trees.
Can we perceive what she said?
Go for it.
Dude, come on, perception. Don't fail me a second time. Because I couldn't perceive where you actually were on my... Oh my god. Moving on.
What did you get? Did you
Moving on.
Oh, there it is. It's Nate. You think she definitely said a swear word about you?
That doesn't bother me too much.
Heard worse,
Mhm.
said worse.
It's definitely
Okay.
said worse.
All right. But that's what you got there. Would you like to move on? Would you like to kind of stick around more?
Now, are the guards kind of keeping a perimeter around the tree or no?
The only ones around, because the ones who were doing a perimeter kind of were the ones that kind of just escorted Mrs. Donner away. You just see the three, including the very professional looking one,
The official.
the high ranking one.
Yeah. Okay, so they're not necessarily keeping a perimeter, but they like keeping people from like inspecting the tree?
Nobody is going near them. They are not actively telling anybody to stay away.
But it seems like there's an intimidation factor going on.
I would say that is easy to perceive.
I mean, you say that, but here I stand as I
Yeah,
walk
but
towards the tree.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you can walk towards the tree. I'm like thinking, do I missy step to the other side of the tree just to get a look at it? Or do I wait to see what happens when you approach? And I just sort of like, I stand there and just watch. And then I look to Grim and Zari and go, well, we still got that quest to turn in, but this is interesting.
Well, it's certainly unusual.
So I attempt to walk past the guards and just see the tree.
Okay. They're not going to stop you either. They're not going to, either.
Okay,
That's
cool.
not going to be their response. You go look at the tree. You two go see him barge again out in a direction towards it seems like odd, but he's just doing it. Doric, on the ground, you're going to see that there looks to be a tree that's jumped from the ground and a scattering of paper.
Of what?
Paper.
Paper. Regular paper?
Well, if you want to get closer, you can get more out of it.
Sure, I will.
Looks like a book's been ripped into several pages and pieces.
Who ruins one of these things? I thought people treasure these things. I kind of pick it up and, you know how you would like take a book and like you were like trying to wave dirt and stuff out of it, I kind of flick it a bit.
Can I look at that book that I see him waving?
You can say that. Before you do that, because you said I'm waving the book around. Can you give me a percentile, please?
Oh no! He's about to launch trees at the public.
Oh shit! Well, here we are. Doop doop doodly doo.
That's my D10.
First there was one tree, then there were 5, 10, 20, a forest.
Oh, now I roll high.
Well, we won't need to hit a lumberyard for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the same one. Okay, cool. So, as you are waving this around, Doric, you see and kind of feel suddenly like stuff fly out. Much like if you're familiar with like using a sling sometimes in hunting, like you have like tossed the sling and something is about to is your ammunition is about to fly out. And as you see this, sorry, Ferrari, you see suddenly the rain kind of stop as you are covered in the shadow of what appears to be two large maple trees setting themselves a bit into the air, but not tremendously far. So...
Oh, no.
Am I able to use an action?
Yeah, you did that, so I'm going to say you can take a choice here.
Alright, I'm going to rage and I'm going to try and grab one of the trees.
Cool. You're in luck. One of them did not go very far at all. The other one going a bit further. So yes, one is easy to grab.
How far away is the second tree?
It's going about 20 feet.
Cool. I'm
is
gonna
not-
get.
It is going not towards the crowd. That one, the one that is close to you, is going to be close to the crowd, Dork. The one that's going further away is headed towards a. No, that's a cart, and the cart has.
Oh, what cart?
You see
Not my melons.
No, not vegetables. It appears like it is a cart full of like
A tree as it's flying towards the thing. Oh shit, Mage Hand ain't gonna do squat to that.
How big is it again?
you're looking at the maples are 30 feet.
Oh God.
I'm going to take the tree and slam down the other tree. So that it just goes straight to the floor and not across wherever it's going.
I'm gonna need to have a shrink, and this is gonna have a rather high threshold.
I would hopefully get some guidance here. So we haven't been agreeing tonight. I'm gonna need you to help me out. All right. I have advantage on strength checks. Let's do this. No, that's saving throws. You were so close. Why did you do that?
You don't have any
20!
Okay, thank God.
Okay, so you basically have been able to do this, thankfully.
And just jamming on top of the other tree before it goes anywhere.
Yep. Now, where there was not something blocking the road previously, you now can see that two large trunk 30-foot trees are now blocking the road. The Rory, you are closest to the guards now, based on how kind of this went.
And this is like the face that they see is just the pensive, like, I'm starting to rub my temples and I'm like, all right, great. So this is, hey, Doric, whatever you picked up, put it down closed so that the guards can take it to perhaps the college so that the mages there can have a good look at it to make sure that it doesn't get misused again.
Yeah, sure. No problem.
Thank you. And we're
Zari,
going to
wait. I think Zari might want to cut in here. Zari, did you want to cut in here?
Yeah, before he closes the book, since it's already open, I want to look at the pages and see if they're identical or very similar to the page I have in my backpack.
Okay.
And yeah.
And okay. And you open that, and you can tell as you're kind of being careful with the book open at this point. You can tell there's some sections ripped out.
Okay.
You can tell that there is a contents in the front that it does have the forest elm. It does appear like the forest elm is missing. The other thing, you have the book in your hand and you have it open now, which you got it open without having to do the other checks that I had thought of for this. So this is great.
Yeah.
You can see that clearly this book is assigned to a shop that you are familiar with, that is down the way in, where are we? That is down the way in the Rogues Gallery. So there's a bookshop down there. You can tell that this clearly came from that bookshop down there.
So the book is from the bookshop in the Rogues Gallery?
Yep. Tell it is the same color binding, because you had the book.
Oh, so it's probably